Yeah. So T-Rich, you talked about having that special bond.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, I had a chance to jump on a podcast with Marshawn Lynch and
Oh,
Michael, his fullback,
yeah.
and had a chance to just talk about different scenarios and things like that. But in terms of that chemistry for those two guys, we talked about what would be your best run or how would you like to approach the game. And
Yeah.
so for Marshawn, he was saying downhill. I'm not trying to go to the perimeter. I just want to go downhill and bust through the gaps. For us, what do you think was something special about what we did and what was our approach to the game?
I think our play was I think it was yeah, it was I know exactly our play was that toss crack.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a toss crack because the thing about it was like we kind of it was funny too because we we would go into a game like, man, they don't have a chance today. Like we literally knew that they couldn't
Wow.
stop us just because
Okay.
I mean it was just because JD was gonna pin the end and then we were gonna have a kick out and then I would hit just in the zone, I mean in between like the lane, and I knew exactly where Priest was gonna be. Now the way we ran it, like there could be times where Priest could get up on my upfield shoulder, and just depending on how that leverage was playing, or he can cut it back. And that was like that play. Every time we dial it up, we're like, okay, we finished. Especially if we got down in the 20. If we got down in the red zone, you call toss crack. It was gonna be a touchdown. So I think that was our bread and butter.
That's right.
Love
Did
it.
we run a toss crack pass? You threw yeah.
Oh,
You threw a
don't
couple
mention the
passes
pass
off
now.
toss crack too. That ball up there, that ball looked like a dead bird coming out of the sky.
I was waiting for it to come down. It would never come down. It just stayed up there.
We just threw that one straight up in there. I'm like, man, where you throw the ball to?
I feel like 15 seconds floating
Yes.
around up there,
At
man.
least cheerleaders are trying to catch it.
Well, I want to zero in real quick, Tony, on
Yeah.
the word fullback for a second, if I can, because I feel like maybe in today's terminology, when we talk about football, it could feel like a little bit of a dying art, right?
Yeah.
There might not be as many plays designed for a fullback or for them to be involved as much with how much the passing game is dominated recently. Talk about the fullback position specifically, how it's changed and what you like and what you don't like about where football's at with fullback.
Yeah, it's funny because, obviously living here in New York, funny, yeah, just I had on my Chiefs Super Bowl sweatshirt, and someone was like, don't you wish you were playing for the Chiefs right now? I'm like, man, if I was playing for the Chiefs right now, I wouldn't even be on the team because they don't even they don't even attempt to get into an I formation. So it's kind of one of those things. I think obviously with the evolution of the game, and understand that you can't touch a receiver past 5 yards. I
5
was with
yards,
Brandon
yeah.
Marshall the other day. He was like, man, if I was playing today, man, I'd have 1,000 yards a game because you can't touch the wide receivers. To where now it's a passing league, obviously, as we know. And the fullback position, I mean, there's a few teams. I still, like, as Priest mentioned earlier, like I try to keep up with like most of the fullbacks. We kind of have like a group chat. So CJ Ham with the Minnesota Vikings, he's a guy that I talk to quite a bit. Alec Engel from the Dolphins, I talked to him, and then Hughescheck. So there's a few guys. The guy in Baltimore, Ricard, that dude, he's pretty much he's a three technique. So he's unique though. I mean, because he with his blocking ability and the way he can run routes and things like that, I was never able to do that. But I think for me, I think it's cyclical because as the season goes on and you start to see teams that actually have success, they start running the ball more. Obviously, with Saquon last year winning the Super Bowl, but even then, they don't really necessarily use a fullback. But I think that the fullback, like you said, it's probably one of those positions that's going to be around. And we're going to be kind of talked about like dinosaurs, like we used to exist, maybe, but they don't know. But no, I think it's still an art. But now teams want to get like a tight end because they know they can motion out the backfield, go run a 7 route, which is a corner. Like that was not in my wheelhouse to be running all those routes. So I think it's starting to come back, but it's definitely it's kind of getting phased out a little bit.
Yeah, it feels like it's a lost art, but one that
Yeah.
teams could probably use, right? I mean, if they
Yeah.
would.
But you know what it takes? It takes patience, and that's the thing that even when I watch the Chiefs play, and obviously the Chiefs are rolling, but it takes patience when you look at the end of the stat line, and it's like, okay, the tailback had 30 yards. You got to be committed to the run because the thing about it is teams are trying to score at such a fast race, and if you're down 14-0, the running game is over, and that's the biggest thing. Is like when Priest and I played, like most teams always set up the run in order to get to the pass, where now teams are like, okay, we got to set up the pass and then maybe run to close the game out. And that philosophy for me is not something that if I was running a team, I couldn't coach a team that way. But that's what the evolution of the league is. And that's literally what I think the NFL wants. They want a high scoring. They want a 40 to 40 overtime game, where for guys like Priest and myself, like we want to establish the run, because first of all, and nowadays in this day and age, I probably wouldn't even play more than 5 years because teams don't run the football.
You talked about more than 5 years. Now that the salary is a lot different, these days. When you see a guy that's making 90 million, 70 million, over 100 million, do you think that there's a reason why they would play more than 5 or 6 years? Like, what would be the incentive for them to continue to play if they've already got $90 million?
Yeah, and that's a great question, Priest, because I currently work for the league office in the NFL Legends community, and I even just look at what guys' benefits are. And if you played at the minimum salary for 5 years with all the benefits the way they are now, I mean, you're pretty much set. So the day and age of guys playing 10, I mean, for a tailback at 10 is a lot. There will never be. I say this right now. There'll never be another tailback that plays 13, 14, 15 years. Those days are over. And I think a lot of it does have to do with the salaries, but also just how they phase running backs out, because they feel like, okay, they 30, they act like 30 is 100. And I'm just like, come on, man, the guy's 30 years old and I think he has 1 foot in the grave. But I think now is just the way teams are bringing in, like, 4th and 5th round draft choices at tailback and not really paying them. I think now there's been a switch where some tailbacks are getting paid. They feel like I could just go get 3 of these guys and then use them up for 3 years and then go get 3 more. So I think those days of guys playing, 10, 15 years at the running back or the fullback position, I think those days are over. Oh. And obviously it does have a lot to do with the salaries, because, you're starting to look up, you're like, who's that third string offensive guard who just got a $70 million guaranteed contract? Wow. Hey, good for them.
That's right.
How do you build? I mean, hearing you say that, Tony, and you too, Priest, like, how do you build a team? Because then now you're going to have all these contracts so staggered from each other, right? Yep. And you can't have guys wait around till they build an offensive line or they build a receiving core or whatever they're working on. I mean, those teams are just in constant flux. It just seems like.
And you start. I'm going to tell you where you're really starting to see a lot of problems is even when you look at the dynamics of the locker room. The highest paid guys now are the team leaders. Like, there's no, like, when Priest and I came into the league, there was always that 7 to 8 to that 9-year veteran who was a backup special teams guy, or maybe a backup running back, a backup tight end, a backup offensive lineman, who literally kind of was like the father of the locker room, who kind of taught guys how to be professionals. Like, all those guys are gone. So there's no in between middle guys. And so literally it's going to be the haves and then the have-nots. And when you're starting to build chemistry, like you said, like, there's not going to be running backs who are, core special team guys playing like 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Back in the day, you'd have a lot of running backs who maybe never even started, but yet still they were core special teams guys and could play and have a 9 to 10 year career. And now these guys are faded out after about 1 or 2 or 3 years. And it's kind of sad. That's how it's going. I know the guys who are making the big bucks don't think that's so, but it's definitely squeezing out that middle population of guys that, who were kind of the locker room leaders and kind of taught guys like Priest and myself how to be true pros.
Breaking news from Bet365. New customers, Priest, $5. You just bet that and you can get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So sign up, place a bet for $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose.
Bonus bets can be used on the spread, player props, futures, and so much more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. Or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 21 plus only. 18 plus in Kentucky. Please gamble responsibly, and you must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, and Kentucky, as well as Louisiana and select parishes. Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. $10 minimum deposit required. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
This has been a Playmaker production.